What's up, y'all? It's springtime in New Orleans, and it's my favorite time of year. It's the second weekend, the last weekend of Jazz Festival. Everybody's having fun all throughout town. No matter where you go, it's all about the music. We're celebrating our culture, but there's a slight problem. Shell Oil Company. For those of you who don't know, Shell Oil Company is the title sponsor of the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. In fact, the name is the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. It wasn't always that way. Shell was added to the official title. But why did that happen? Over the last 100 years, the oil and gas industry has been exploring for and extracting oil and gas from our wetlands. It became clear that they were causing a lot of damage. The state of Louisiana started to realize that, and so permits had to be issued. And there was clear language that said when these companies go in and dredge, so basically it's like you're taking a lawnmower and you're cutting through these wetlands. And all the vegetation is getting shifted to the side. And now what you have is just like open water for a canal so that they can get equipment in. They will go in and extract the oil, and then when they're done, they don't fix the land by just ignoring their legal requirements and not refilling the land, putting it back in place, fixing what they broke. They've allowed and exacerbated our land loss. We've lost over 2,000 square miles of land south of I-10. That means that when we get a hurricane like Hurricane Katrina, there's not that buffer anymore that can protect coastal communities. So Shell has an obligation to pay. But not only that, they've got the money to pay their fair share. They're not responsible for all the damage by any stretch of the imagination. There are a lot of companies that have done a lot of damage, but they're one of the biggest, and they've had one of the largest footprints here, and they still do. But really what they do is they're greenwashing people into thinking that they're this good corporate sponsor. Jazz Fest is the prime example. They spent a few bucks on funding Jazz Festival, and people come from all over the world, and they see it, and they see Shell's logo, and they get the impression that Shell is just this great company that's doing so much good for Louisiana. But the fact of the matter is that they've done so much damage, and the damage that they have done is many times more than what they're paying. I mean, they've done billions of dollars of damage. So, given all that, I've got a couple of mischievous things planned. Let's go get busy. I don't want to wear the mask the whole time because they passed a law that you can't wear a mask except on Mardi Gras and Halloween. You remember they had all the problems with the people dressing up as crazy clowns? This snazzy little flyer welcoming everybody to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell Oil Company. On the bottom of the picture you can see the Gulf of Mexico, and that's an oil leak by Shell Oil Company last summer. It was about 100 miles offshore, a flow line from one of their wells to a platform. Fortunately, they eventually able to stop the leak, but not before like 10,000 barrels of oil were released. On the top, you can see the little pieces of land that used to all be solid green. Those are wetlands. And all those little straight edges, all the straight edges that you can see are the outlines of canals that were dredged. And so that's our vital flood protection that, you know, has been decimated over, you know, decades of oil and gas activity. And Shell's not the only company that's been doing it, but they're a major player. And so they definitely owe their fair share. You know, if they're not going to do it, then we're just going to welcome people to Jazz Fest on their behalf. That's the Jazz Festival right behind us. Tomorrow morning, there's gonna be thousands of people waiting in line to get in before the gates open. This is the entrance that I usually come in, so I know that if I were walking by right here, I would see this flyer. So this is a really good spot to put these.
Boy, wie geht's das?
Alles gut? Renata, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm excited to see the golf, to see what's happening out there.
Cool. Well, I'm really happy that you're coming with me.
Yeah.
Because you do such incredible work on all these issues that we're fighting in the Gulf, and now you're going to be able to get to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Which is totally cool.
Right. I always hear and I see your pictures how much of the land is disappearing and how much oil is being spilled there everywhere.
Exactly.
But to really see it firsthand, that's going to be
cool. So I'm just doing packing up my gear real quick, and then we'll hit the road. Okay.
Okay. All right.
One last thing.
She knows what's coming.
Yeah. And I like to leave some music on for him. Likes that. Not too loud because he likes to talk to the dogs as they go by. Okay, that's it.
Very good. All right, off we go.
A lot of oil and gas canals that are cut on this side of the passes. Yeah. But then in here is where there are like literally 1,000 wells.
Right.
And I would like to fly over that and look up and kind of, I'm looking for oil and gas canals that are in the range of all these wells. So, I'll just be able to point it out. None of it's going to be very far from our track. Testing.
You're loud and clear.
I think I might have a little situation with this window.
What respect?
Well, it doesn't seem to be closing all the way.
Land 6-9, like
Hold on.
Yes, sir. We're all done here. 500 feet transition back to the east. Land 6-9, transition through the class Delta is approved. The wind's currently 36 or at 6, now altimeter 3023. 3023, 169, thanks.
Whatever expect exit 37 Bistro. 36. Right Vieux.
So that's Lake Leary that we're flying over. That town over there is Delacroix Island.
So that's on.
And there's actually a pipeline that comes right across Lake Leary, basically right through the middle of it. That is a Shell pipeline, Shell Oil Company pipeline. They don't operate this particular pipeline that I'm referring to, but it's a joint venture, so they use it. You see all the patches of green?
Yeah.
This was all solid land at one point. And in fact, the Canary Islanders that settled in this area, they farmed.
Yeah.
Everywhere you see these straight edges, those are all pipeline canals.
Yeah.
Or access canals, where they just dredged and then drilled a well and then left. The big pipeline down here below us. I mean, this pipeline system is connected really all across the country. So it goes from offshore to some processing stations, to some refineries, back into pipelines, and then out of state. It just a lot of it's a web of connectivity.
report oil, chemical, radiological, biological, and ideological discharges in the environment